our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, you're not even competing for a slot. When you're not competing for those things anymore, you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what went through with you.
A few Grammys, but you feel like you had to sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
which they do. They do it every year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it.
50 Cent and Eminem have joined forces to call out none other than Jay-Z and Beyoncé. The accusations run deep: shady business deals, award show rigging, alleged blackballing of rivals, and a pattern of sudden career collapses that conveniently benefit the Carters. Is it all just rumor and speculation, or has the so-called royal couple of the music world been quietly silencing competition for years? Everything ignited when 50 Cent revealed a suspicion that Jay-Z, despite long stepping back from active rap battles, continues to place obstacles in front of 50's business ventures.
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they harbor it, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like I'm a shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much G Unit Records.
Right.
They forget that I'm M and Dre's artist. Things like that. This is why I was saying I knew what old boy was doing. Right. With the Super Bowl. Because he was doing like, yeah, go ahead. He was doing some wild because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right? Makes no sense. Like, right now, you're not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he wanted to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for? What's the goal? Like this even, like, a lot of even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? It changed. That terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment. Right. When before that they called it babbling in our culture. Right. Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what went through with you.
He first pointed to the infamous Super Bowl halftime show fiasco, in which 50 found out Jay might have tried to keep him off the bill entirely. According to 50, Jay used his influence through the NFL to push back against 50's inclusion, despite not having any new releases of his own to promote at the time. If that move sounds petty, it's only the tip of the iceberg. Eminem allegedly refused to perform unless 50 was brought in, a stance that exposed just how deeply Jay-Z still cares about controlling who stands in the spotlight. The moment Eminem said no 50, no Slim Shady, the NFL folded, and it raised immediate questions. If Jay's not even jockeying for chart positions, what's he so afraid of? It's not just 50 talking. Eminem, a notoriously private figure, when it comes to interviews, has long voiced his distrust of the Grammy system. He's hinted on multiple occasions that the Recording Academy isn't about rewarding true artistry.
And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now. Watch 50, same. 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys. Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever. I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following, and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for your show and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I go to this of all that vote is fake. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings. Oh, this got critical acclaim, but it sold 2 records. Like, it ain't about always what you sell. I get that. Vanilla Ice, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there comes a point where when an overwhelming something comes along that has this wave and impact on music, and you give it to Lada Dottie. Who? Lada Dottie. It's only Lada Dottie.
It's about rewarding industry connections, but Eminem didn't stop at calling it out once. He vowed never to attend again, labeling the Grammys a scam where votes appear meaningless. In his mind, it's all a setup to exploit artist names for TV ratings, only to deny them the actual trophies. And who keeps raking in these awards even when fans feel the music falls short? Jay-Z and Beyoncé, time and time again. That Cent backs up Eminem's claim with unsettling specifics.
When he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things they would. Later, to me, I didn't care about trophies. I said, look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he didn't show up.
No, he has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. You're not wrong.
He was one.
At the same time.
After that, he's like drinking. His pictures with him like the cup.
He alleges that while Jay had earned only a handful of Grammys before marrying Beyoncé, the floodgates opened once they tied the knot.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got. Oh, wow. So that's the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Suddenly, both Jay and Beyoncé's trophy cabinets overflowed, turning them into the show's prime attraction. That's when the real whispers began. Are the Carters winning these trophies based on musical merit, or is the Recording Academy simply guaranteeing that the biggest power couple in music attends, boosting award show prestige and viewership? 50's stance is clear. The Grammys get a ratings bonanza, and the Carters walk away with yet another round of praise. For Jay and Beyoncé, that only cements their reign at the top. The same suspicion extends beyond awards. Plenty of insiders suggest that Jay-Z and Beyoncé routinely block, overshadow, or outright sabotage artists who look poised to rise too high. The allegations date back to Destiny's Child's earliest days, when group members were swapped out amid swirling controversy. Later, as Beyoncé went solo, new names began to pop up in stories of alleged blackballing. Aaliyah's tragic end is still surrounded by rumor and heartbreak. While there's never been a direct accusation pinned on Beyoncé, fans recall how Aaliyah was the princess of R&B, poised to dominate the same lane Beyoncé was preparing to enter. Mia, a lesser-known singer, hinted she turned down powerful men in the industry and was promptly pushed aside. Carrie Hilson found herself suddenly cancelled after a supposed diss track that she says producers tricked her into recording, fueling immediate backlash from Beyoncé's passionate supporters. Ameri was another singer whose rising career stopped short right after a certain star producer made a sharp pivot to support Beyoncé instead.
Where you been, A-Marie?
I've been out in the like the universe somewhere.
Talk about your career. Everybody always says A-Marie should have been a superstar.
Because she's pretty, she could dance, she could sing. What happened? What do
You know
think
what
happened?
it is? It's timing. Like, everything is timing. Like, I'm a big believer in
Coincidence, or just another domino in a pattern of suspicious timing? People started seeing a clearer picture when Jaguar Wright, a former background vocalist for Jay-Z, spoke out about dark forces controlling who succeeds and who disappears.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you,
Rest in peace, Big L.
rest in peace, Big L.
One of the
That was the
dopest.
sense
One of
that
the dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on.
Without question.
And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know, Jay.
In a series of public statements, Jaguar Wright alleged that many of Jay-Z's early acquaintances, like the Harlem legend Big L, ended up with their careers stalled, or in Big L's case, losing their lives under strange circumstances. He was just about to sign a major deal that could have rocketed him to stardom, and then he was tragically gunned down in an unsolved act that still haunts fans. Jaguar questioned why these catastrophic events seemed to befall promising artists, right as Jay-Z's own path was clearing. DMX also publicly clashed with Jay-Z after Jay became president of Def Jam. DMX claimed Jay intentionally held up his album, apparently to ensure DMX wouldn't steal the spotlight from Jay's big comeback.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. The game is bullshit, man. The game is bullshit. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, what it's about, the industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a f***ing game. The industry, real is dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that, but I'm going to dress like this and talk with the gap.
I was like, we got to sign DMX, and they laughed at me. I remember when I left the office, Tina Davis said, she knew I wanted to sign DMX. She said, DMX don't sell, your ass is fired. Jay and Dame did not believe in DMX. Jay would be like, you think he's better than me? And I'd be like, he's nice just like you. I said, if you look in the hood, there's less of like you and more like him. Yeah, but he don't want to live that. He's depressing, Gotti. And I said, I don't give a f. So Jay used to watch me grind with X, and he was off with the Hitman. And then something strange happened when I made Get At Me Dog. If you remember at the beginning of the video, it's the heartbeats. DMX, live at the tumble. I don't even remember the tumble. Funk Master was and then I put that sound bite. Let's take it back to the streets, mother. The video's flashing, f***ing up your eyes. It caused change. And now, there's no more shiny suits. We back to the hood, and X is the leader of this revolution. I used to put on the wall a triangle with 5. Niggas like, they used to clown me. They used to be like, who's gonna buy his records, Gotti? Chihuahuas, he's barking. No one wants to hear that bullshit. And I'd be like, yeah. It's 05. It was no more writing on the walls. It was, y'all can get behind me. I used to tell Leo in the midst of the whole staff, and I would tell him, yo, shut the f up, yo. I said, you work better when you shut up and get behind me. Now this is what we doing. And he would shut up.
Beanie Siegel said he felt the same squeeze, citing times Jay intentionally flooded the market with his own releases whenever Beanie dropped an album.
I don't think one man could destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. but
effectively strangling Beanie's chart performance. But 50 Cent's allegations about the Super Bowl weren't the only shocker. He also insisted that Jay is using every possible tool to maintain a firm grip on the industry. If Jay can prevent a competitor from appearing on one of the biggest stages in the world, right when that competitor has decades of proven success, how many other deals might he have quietly disrupted behind closed doors? The more 50 talked, the more it seemed Jay's strategy goes well beyond music, extending into brand deals, corporate partnerships, and any pathway to wealth that 50 tries to pursue. Having built his own empire with liquor brands, television, deals, and beyond, 50 stands in direct competition for powerful alliances, and according to him, Jay will burn those bridges if it means keeping 50 out of the upper echelons. Then there's Beyoncé. For years, she was viewed as a carefully crafted pop icon whose only mission was to entertain and inspire. But as more stories emerge, even her most ardent fans have questioned how she keeps ascending, while other talented women seem to fade away. Look at Kellis, a dynamic artist and innovator who once ruled the charts with hits like Milkshake. When Beyoncé sampled Kellis's work on a more recent project, Kellis claimed she didn't find out through a phone call or a contract discussion. She discovered it the same way as everyone else, through social media. According to Kellis, the courtesy of even a heads up never happened. Once she complained, the sample was quietly removed. No apology, no formal statement, nothing. Kellis pointed out that in an industry where successful black women are relatively few, you'd think there would be more solidarity and respect. But from her vantage point, the Carters never offered either. Another jaw-dropping name in this saga is Uncle Ron, an ex-bodyguard who leveled severe allegations at Jay and Beyoncé, insisting he knew their deepest secrets and had evidence that could dismantle their public image.
Beyoncé and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Hey, I get the threats, but you have to remember one thing. I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people. Beyoncé, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career because she said something.
Days after making such statements, he passed away from pneumonia, sparking a wave of conspiracy theories suggesting he might have been silenced. While there's no concrete proof tying anyone to his death, the mere timing of it all has fueled speculation. The perception that people who cross the Carters end up in dire straits has only been strengthened by such coincidences, though it remains impossible to confirm or deny with absolute certainty. In the middle of all this noise, 50 Cent and Eminem stand out as two artists who just won't stay silent. Both men have a reputation for speaking their minds without apology. Eminem has never feared controversy. His entire career is built on upending norms and calling out hypocrisies. Meanwhile, 50 has turned feuds into a near art form, but this time, it isn't just hype for an album. His tone suggests real frustration at Jay's alleged refusal to let bygones be bygones. He questions why Jay is still acting like they're in direct competition, especially when Jay supposedly retired from chasing hits long ago. If 50's claims are to be believed, the deeper reason might be personal. Jay sees 50's ongoing prosperity in music, television, and branding, and he just can't stand it. Adding to the intrigue is the unwavering taboo around criticizing Beyoncé. For years, fans have noted that any negative word about her triggers instant backlash. Sometimes, simply refusing to speak her name in a complimentary tone has been enough to spark calls for cancellation. Carrie Hilson's experience showed how quickly the public can turn on an artist perceived as disrespecting Queen Bey.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones. And you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have a choice. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. It was do this or this.
Why did you say so guarded within your career?
This is what I did. I said, no, I'm good, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so sometimes that doesn't translate as far as what you are allowed to have, what you have access to. You will be blackballed, you will be talked about, you will be on, you will be rumored about. But you have to stand strong on what you don't care for. It's not that serious to me, if I have to sell my soul. I understand that I might have sacrificed something in the physical world, but the spiritual world is not worth it. You're okay. You don't need to do anything. What you need to do is protect every part of your life, your spirit especially, because everything else is connected to that. There are some people, not everyone, that have huge egos, you know, and awful mindsets towards men, towards women, towards people. And it's very difficult to be around. It's just very difficult. And the way they define success is not your idea of success.
Whether all these cancellations and smears are orchestrated by the Carters or simply by an overzealous fan base is still debated, yet the outcome remains. Artists seen as stepping into Beyoncé's lane often vanish or lose momentum shortly after crossing paths with her. What's most unsettling is how these rumors, from blackballing to behind-the-scenes threats, paint a picture of an industry that can be as cutthroat as it is glamorous. Some say that's just the price of fame. You either bow to the bigger names or get shoved aside. Others insist that the manipulation is on another level, with the Carters allegedly leveraging their global brand to ensure the best deals, biggest stages, and shiniest accolades, all while quietly pushing out any competition. These whispers have circulated for so long that they're starting to blend into one persistent story, that the Carters might do whatever it takes to protect their dominance. Jay-Z and Beyoncé have never provided explicit comments on these accusations. From their perspective, the success could simply be the result of impeccable business acumen, relentless artistry, and an uncanny ability to connect with audiences worldwide. After all, artists at their level are magnets for drama, whether justified or not. Some fans argue that if the Carters truly had the power to destroy careers, they'd face more direct legal actions or official complaints. Others say fear is enough to keep people quiet, especially if stepping forward means career suicide. The real question is, how long can all these allegations stack up before the Carters' aura of untouchability finally cracks? 50 Cent and Eminem aren't exactly small time. They have their own dedicated followings, mountains of respect, and equally potent influence in the business. They're among the few who can openly challenge Jay-Z and Beyoncé without completely sinking. The fact that they continue calling out the power couple suggests they have nothing to lose, and that they might be doing this not just for themselves, but also for every artist who's ever felt stifled. So what happens next? Will this be a turning point that breaks the Carters' iron grip, or will 50 Cent and Eminem simply join the long list of artists who tried to fight back, only to be overshadowed by the next wave of headlines? In a landscape where new controversies emerge daily, the Carters have proven exceedingly skilled at controlling narratives. Their public image remains pristine, built on philanthropy, sold-out tours, and a family brand that's become a pop culture fixture. But 50 and M are banking on the idea that this time, a scandal might be too large to sweep under the rug. If all these claims turn out to be true, then the Carters are more than just a power couple. They're a pair who might have redefined the limits of celebrity control. From orchestrating Grammys to sabotaging potential rivals, they could be rewriting unwritten rules in a game most fans barely understand. If the claims are false, though, it may reflect a deeper envy among certain artists who can't stand that. The Carters continue to prosper despite repeated critiques. Whichever side holds the truth, the conversation surrounding Jay-Z and Beyoncé has shifted from admiration to cautious speculation, exposing a rift in the music world that grows wider. With each new whistleblower or public accusation, one thing is certain: the debate has only begun. For every musician stepping out of the shadows, there may be dozens who remain silent, convinced any complaints will be smothered by the Carters' PR machine. People are also watching for any escalation, like new revelations, hidden recordings, or lawsuits that could blow the lid off the entire system. In an era where social media can amplify voices overnight, it's far harder to bury controversies than it once was. 50 Cent's and Eminem's willingness to double down might embolden others to come forward. So are Jay-Z and Beyoncé simply great at their craft, or are they using quiet influence to dominate the industry at the expense of others' livelihoods? Could there be a middle ground where they played the game just like everyone else, only with bigger stakes and higher skills? That might be for viewers and fans to decide. Nobody disputes the Carters' groundbreaking achievements, but these swirling allegations give their story a sharper edge, a possibility that the same passion driving them to the top might also push them to extinguish anyone stepping into their light. The claims of blackballing, the suspicious twists of fate for competing artists, the alleged rigging of award shows, and the powerful voices, Eminem and 50 Cent among them, raising red flags. If even a fraction of these rumors hold water, the Carters might be orchestrating a level of influence that transforms the entire music landscape around them. Yet, if these stories fail to gain traction, Jay-Z and Beyoncé will remain an unstoppable force, continuing their reign with an image barely tarnished. Whatever conclusion you reach, it's clear we're at a pivotal moment as the curtain pulls back and reveals an underbelly far darker than many fans ever imagined. So, what do you think? Are Jay-Z and Beyoncé the visionary artists they claim to be, or does their success hinge on silencing anyone who stands in their way? Drop your thoughts in the comments.